Mr. Congress implement to address your inequity concerns with the HMT? In your testimony, you mentioned 50% of the revenue comes from donor ports, and the percentage of the revenue should be allocated to, what percent should be allocated to the donor ports? Do you believe the minimum allocation to donor ports should be effective immediately or in the future? Would there be a trigger for this implementation for donor ports? And what would the trigger be, and what expanded uses are you advocating for, and why? Long question.
Yeah. The trigger would be full spend, full utilization of the incoming revenues. So we get that, then we have an opportunity to look at the fair and balanced allocation. And our idea, which is aligned with the American Association of Port Authorities, is that we ensure that the 6 geographies, the dredge ports, the emerging harbors, are all treated with the capability to receive as much money or more money in the future than they do today. Right? Our look at what we should receive, the 50 versus 2% in return, as outlined in our framework, we believe that donor ports should receive between 8 and 10%. And that's a real good program to allow us to get after these other uses that we mentioned. If you can imagine, Chairwoman Napolitano, in your mind's eye, as the ship is coming in, most of the discussion around this topic is to make sure that our channels are as deep as necessary to manage the ships in whatever port authority we represent. What we're looking at in Los Angeles and Long Beach is that we need to cater to those large ships alongside the wharf. So we need to make sure that that water is deep enough, that the wharfs are strong enough to manage the heavier equipment that moves that larger amount of cargo across.
Mr. Soroka, Mr. Brady, understand that each of your ports have unique needs. Outside of those, do you support the full utilization of HMT? Yes or no?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you. That's very much what we expect. Doesn't the entire United States benefit from all of the ports are most efficiently operated and in capacity? Mr. Soroka, would full utilization of HMT help ports of LA? Would it help them?
Pardon me?
Would full utilization of HMT help ports like the Port of LA, and how?
Absolutely. As I mentioned, we have $260 million worth of projects that we have identified to cater to these larger ships, which are trending in the industry and of utmost importance in Los Angeles, and therefore that ability would be a really smart move for us as a nation and our competitiveness in the future.
Thank you, sir. I think we will have to recess. We have 11 minutes left to go vote. We will adjourn or recess for 45 minutes, and we'll be back to continue the line of questioning.